Day number 7 of the 7th month, making it 7/7/2025. My name is Adedamala LAFENWA. The program is from the dailies on your Super Dial Solutions and 93.9 FM. And I have Comrade Ayodeji AJISOPE live in the studio with me this beautiful Monday morning. A very good morning to you, Comrade Ayodeji AJISOPE.
Good morning to you, my dear brother. Of course, good morning to our listeners and viewers all over the world.
Okay, if this is your first time on the program from the dailies, this is where we get to take you through the front page stories of newspapers. And this morning, I have like 5 newspapers for us to review. I have the Nigerian Tribune, the Guardian, the Nation newspaper, the Punch, the Nigerian Tribune, and the Vanguard newspaper. Starting with the Nigerian Tribune this Monday morning. The biggest story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune says, I am going to contest for president in 2027. Obi wants the North to trust him, dismisses VP slot deal with Atiku, justifies romance with ADC. Page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune has that story. Again, Wike berates coalition leaders, accuses them of seeking power for personal interest. Page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Killings. Tinubu orders military to crush terrorist bandits. Page 25 has that story. 39 died in Kano, Lagos, Ogun crashes. Moving away from that, we are yet to receive CTC of judgment on Natasha. Senate. Rider, Kogi lawmaker vows to resume tomorrow. Okay, that's interesting. You know, there was a court pronouncement reinstating Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan from the suspension. I mean, it's getting interesting. I think, we'll talk about that when we get to, because I have a lot to talk about concerning that particular issue. Moving away from that now, ADC plots to test coalition strength with Lagos LG poll. Old talks with PDP Labour candidates. Moving away from the Nigerian Tribune, now taking a look at the Vanguard newspaper. The biggest story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this Monday morning says ADC begins takeover of PDP structures in northern states. That's quite interesting. And the riders, PDP calls defectors to ADC good riddance. I am loyal to APC. Zulum dismisses defection rumor. Why Obi is still committed to Labour Party. Source. Atiku El-Rufai Obi's coalition is a fraud. APC scribe. FG's reforms mere optics, not solutions. ADC. You failed as Interior Minister. Wike tackles Aregbesola. I am still in Labour Party. Peter Obi. I mean, this build-up is getting more interesting by the day. But what I'm seeing is a more of a war of words between our politicians.
Well, it's a stock and trade, and sadly, we have 2 years ahead of this election. And of course, you and I know governance will suffer.
Okay, moving away from that story, I am contesting for president, not VP. Peter Obi, page 40 of Vanguard newspaper. And this one, NIN verification portal frustrates banks, telecos as downtime persists. Page 26 of the Vanguard newspaper. A quick look at the front page of the Punch newspaper now. 10 states borrow 40. Okay, let me take it again. 10 states borrow 417 billion naira despite higher allocations. And Rider, Rivers Taraba top debt surge as 10 states account for 34% of subnational domestic debt. I mean, despite the increase, the huge increase in the monthly allocation given to the states. It's alarming to know that 10 states are still borrowing or still borrowed 417 billion naira, and Rivers topping the list of recent borrowers.
Yes.
Under IBAS.
Under IBAS. Well, that's strange. A man with a 6-month mandate.
I mean,
A man with a 6-month mandate. Maybe he borrowed before the release of the
fund.
Of the funds.
Okay.
So maybe that was the borrowing. We do not know the details, but I guess that is probably you have a 6-month mandate now. You cannot start an 18-month project. You understand? He was not supposed to initiate, projects and stuff like that. But that's what you get.
Okay, we'll talk about this in the course of this program. 2027 coalition crisis brews as ADC chairman sets terms for alliance. Chairman, ADC chairman. Interesting. Interesting. Moving ahead, still looking at the front page of the Punch newspaper. I have this one saying Nigeria's unity under attack from terrorist separatists. Tinubu. Let's quickly move to other papers now. Looking at the Nation newspaper. I am still in Labour Party, says Obi. Natasha, I will resume tomorrow. Page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And the biggest story on the front page of the Nation newspaper says, Mark Aregbesola take over in conflict with ADC constitution. And Rider Omosu Matara disagree on amendment of party rules. I mean, somewhere else, a group of people are trying to amend the rules of that party, the regulations of that party, in order to accommodate the newly emerged executives, national executives of the ADC.
I think...
Is that not problem brewing in that party?
It may be because even if they are not strong, they will get sponsorship. I'm sure that as we talk here, people are scrutinizing the constitution of that party and the rules of engagement. And the ASPC or the Tinubu people must ensure in their own interest that they put shenanigans in the way of that takeover.
Okay, let's quickly look at the front page of the Guardian newspaper before we start the analysis proper. More Nigerians losing faith in Tinubu government. Public institutions poll reveals. Page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And another story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Police warn Ogun Ondo residents against 777 cult celebrations. Senate awaits certified true copy of Natasha's reinstatement order. Obi affirms 2027 presidential bid as Wike bets against his ambition. Catholic group advocates electoral reform before 2027. And the last one I would like to take on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, it says Tinubu orders security agencies to crush bandits, separatists, others. Okay, it's 9:44 on Solutions at 939 FM. It's about time for us to go into the stories one after the other. Now, talking about the coalition, the force, we've talked about the names and the type of people that are coming together to form this coalition. But there seems to be one man that has never stopped talking about the members of this coalition, talking about Ezenwo in some weekend, the FCT minister. He was at a Thanksgiving service yesterday, and it each and every member, or let me say the key members of the ADC, into the gutters yesterday. I mean, it took them into the cleaners. It took them to the cleaners rather, by washing them in not a very palatable way.
What did you have to say?
Let's listen to what Nation Wiki had to say concerning the members. He spoke about David Mark. He spoke about Amechi. He spoke about Peter Obi. And let's take a listen. This is Nation Wiki, the city minister.
They will have the chance again. Look, ask yourself a question. Just ask yourself. I was a Senate president for 8 years, for example. And I cannot provide road to my local government or to both. And I will be flying a helicopter to go to Otubo. 8 years. Now, you say you want to rescue Nigeria. Which Nigeria are you rescuing? Rescuing that you were 8 years as Senate president? Somebody was speaker for 8 years. Governor, 8 years. Minister, 8 years. He didn't know Nigerians were angry. It's just these 2 years he left office. He are telling Nigerians that Nigerians are angry. Why would they be angry? When in 8 years as Minister of Transportation, you borrow so much money from China, making us to be highly indebted. You have borrowed the future of Nigerians. You say Nigerians are angry. They're angry with you. They're angry with you. Here, you are Attorney General of the Federation for 8 years. Every time we are paying for judgment debt. How many times Nigeria, every time on the news about corruption. 8 years. What happened? These are the same people that want to rescue Nigerians. You are Minister for Interior here. To go and get international passport, you will spend weeks and months and years before you get international passport. But look at a young boy. See what he has done. Within hours, you've got your international passport. And yet, you come and tell us Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are angry with you for not making it possible for us to have an international airport international passport as quickly as possible. Nigerians are angry with you. Nigerians are what? Angry with you. How can Nigerians not be angry with you? Today, in 1999, you are in this party. In 2006, you are another party. In 2014, you moved to another party. In 2019, you came back to another party. That 2025, you are moving to another party. To rescue who? You want to rescue your stomach. It's not Nigeria you want to rescue. So let's tell ourselves the simple truth. Some of you have sympathy for somebody you don't know. I'll say it. And that's where you nearly made us to make a mistake. You said Peter Obi will be president. President where? Some of you don't know somebody just out of emotion. For 8 years, he was governor. He never conducted local government election. Never. That time Nigerians were not angry. Nigerians were happy that you refused to conduct local government election. 8 good years, you are governor. That one was democracy. That one you define it to be democracy. Only you, governor of all the local government. And none of you ask questions.
All right, Honorable Minister of the FCT, Ezenwo Nyesom Wike there, taking some of the big names in the newly formed coalition, taking their name to the cleaners yesterday at the second anniversary of his appointment as the FCT minister. What do you make out of the names? I want to take the names one after the other. I think it started with David Mark, who is a national chairman, the interim national chairman of the ADC, saying that he spent 8 years as the Senate president and there was no road to his village, to his hometown, Onotokpo, Benue State, that every time for the time he spent as a Senate president, he flew to his hometown in helicopter because of bad roads and other names like that you mentioned. What do you make out of that?
You see, I do not think. Let me start with those individuals.
And these are the individuals that want to rescue Nigeria.
Yeah, but I will come to a conclusive end, branding all of them.
Okay.
Now, starting with the David Mark. If not for the fact that Nigerians don't know what democracy and governance is all about. And on top of that, people suffer collective amnesia. We are students of history, we are observers, we are participants, but teeming millions of Nigerians don't know Jack.
But some of us haven't forgotten the rules.
No, you are never going to forget. I mean, this was a man that said, according to eyewitness account, Professor Omori, I had to go back to it again when the man emerged as interim chairman of what do you call their party, and they say he's interim chairman of a party. That David Mark, he assured Professor Omori that he was going to be the one to shoot Moshood Abiola, a man that had won an election. And don't forget his antecedents as Minister of Communication.
Yes, under Ibrahim Badamsi Babangida.
And you see, I mean, it is heart-rending. And then they say they want to rescue Nigeria. That cannot be true. That cannot be true. What value? What public value? It is just like I asked when Buhari was being packaged for us by this same the Tinubu, because that was the only pathway for him to become president. He packaged him, repentant military junta. And I asked, what value did Muhammadu Buhari add to himself between 1985 when he was ousted by Babangida and 2015 he was coming back to be president? None. And of course, we saw the disaster that Buhari was. Now, what's the other one? Aregbesola.
Aregbesola, as the interior minister.
You know, in politics, they say only interest is constant.
Let's talk about his tenure as the interior minister under Buhari's administration and his tenure as the governor of Osun State.
No, the man, what he did at Osun, renaming, behaving as if, you know, he, at a point for me, his conduct became suspect.
There was a time he made a pronouncement that all public schools in Osun State must have one uniform.
He pulled down Fakunle. Fakunle used to be in front of my house when I served in Osun. He pulled down Fakunle. They were going to put one, and then everybody will wear the same uniform. And the man was doing all this, all that, everything. And I was wondering at the point whether the man we should not be subject to some evaluation, just like Professor Thomas Adeyo Lambo suggested decades back. You know, and then they renamed the one we call prison. They renamed it. What did they call it now?
Correctional facilities.
So I go to these facilities at least once or twice a month, and I know nothing has changed.
There is nothing correctional about this.
Absolutely nothing. So
the people,
I mean,
the
optics.
inmates there are in a very
I
sorry
go
case.
to those facilities at
So
least
you begin
once
to
a
wonder
month.
what was is it just about name changing or changing the structure or the
No,
foundational
it's
structure?
it's about the container and not the content. You know, and it's not working. As for Peter Obi, you see, I hold this belief that until an Igbo man is elected president of Nigeria, the civil war has not ended. But Peter Obi is not the man.
What makes you think that way?
Yes, when Peter Obi is subjected to scrutiny, I mean, he cannot stand.
But a lot of Nigerians still seem to have confidence in Peter Obi.
It is what they call misplaced confidence. And let me tell you this. After the presidential elections, what are the sentiments that gave Obi what he got? Religious sentiments.
Okay.
You can add the NSAS, Constitution of NSAS. That was why you had quite a large number of youth. Look, when I gave up on Obi, he was on channels, I guess, and he was being asked about how he was going to end insecurity. Give us, a sketch of your plan. He said no, he was not going to tell anybody that.
So that they won't steal his idea.
I said, I give up.
I remember that interview.
I give
I
up.
remember the interview.
I give up.
Vividly.
Obi cannot stand any scrutiny. It was Pastor Bojo Yemade that gave him that platform. And emotion. And we've said it several times on this platform that the factors that coalesced in 2023 behind Obi is not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again.
He spoke about one man that kept on jumping from one party to another, apparently referring to Atiku Abubakar.
I empathize with the Turaki of Adamawa. He has even been stripped.
Turaki is not. I wanted to call him Turaki of Adamawa, but he has been stripped of that title.
Let us give him. I think he has done well. Politicians are a special breed. Now, the Turaki of Adamawa, I empathize with him since 1993. He has been at it. The one that would have been an easy passage for him, he was impatient. If he had kept his head under, believe you me, he would have succeeded Obasanjo. But you know what he did? What he orchestrated? The people around him, they started, I've not forgotten the Mandela option. Then they started putting it, because they had media guys around, they started putting it in the newspaper, the Mandela option. Obasanjo should take the Mandela option. If Obasanjo had taken the Mandela option, and he had succeeded Obasanjo in 2003 to 2007, and 7 to 11, he would have been president long time ago, but impatience. But El-Rufai, that is in the same boat with him now, that wrote Accidental Public Servant, said that he was in pursuit of the prophecy of Marabout that told him that he would be president. But let me tell you this. The scripture says, those who are standing. I listened to Buba Galadima's daughter, Zainab. I do not know whether you have listened to her. And I don't doubt it. You see, the sentiments that determine people, the way people vote in the North. There's what they call a hard mentality. Hard mentality. Where will Buhari stand in this matter? Will he call them back and say no? Or they will say he betrayed the North. You understand? Or will he support Bola Tinubu that supported him twice? You understand?
Yes.
That will be a test of, but we are told that the man is not fine. He's in England currently. But anyway, we still have 2 years away. You see, and let me make this abundantly clear. I saw El-Rufai on television. He was saying, the evil that he brought, he has to take it out. If it will be the last thing he will do. No problem. But he also talked about the handshake by their fathers and the fathers in the South. That when it is the turn of the North, you get support from the South. When it is the turn of the South. Now, he now said the responsibility he had as governor in 2023, he doesn't have that responsibility anymore. What about the moral body of it? He said, no, they have to support somebody who will win. Therefore, he will be supporting a northern presidential candidate. Look, let me tell you this. If if they do it and do it successfully, and a northerner emerges as, what do you call it, as president,
The president.
that will be a test of Nigeria. Just wait.
Okay, but now talking about the northerners now, ADC seems to be building up in the northern state, according to what I'm seeing in the Vanguard newspaper now. ADC begins takeover of PDP structures in northern state. I think they are beginning to gather momentum in the northern state. But PDP calls defectors to ADC good riddance. I mean, taking over the structures of the PDP in the northern state.
Well, you know, in politics, it is usually Nibola and law. There are people who...
But with the way these people, big wigs of the PDP, are moving into ADC, won't they leave a kind of a huge vacuum in the PDP? Now that they are even about taking over the PDP structures in the northern state, is PDP not going to be losing its grip in the few northern states they have now?
I think PDP, you see, there's something about PDP. You say you are taking over PDP structures in the northern states. One thing I know is that it is the battle of the life of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It is the battle of his life. And there are people around him who have something at stake. You understand? It is a battle of his life. And we are not going to know whether he's the master strategist that is touted to be indeed. This is what the northern elements are saying is that we hold the ace, we hold the numbers, and we're going to whip you with the numbers that we have. We're going to show you.
But with the emergence of ADC, is it not going to divide the interests of the northern people?
Well, I think it's a calculation that we cannot conclude as we speak. But what is the projection? If they take over PDP structure, that's the smartest thing for them to do anyway. Will everybody fall in line? How many will fall in line? You know, if the key elements don't fall in line, is this a northern project? You understand? It depends on what is sold. If they are told that it is a northern project, I can tell you that many will fall for it. And many are already falling for it. Zainab Bubakar Galadima said, Tinubu will likely score 30% thereabout or below in the way things are going. And, you know, just brutally frank as the father. And I guess that there are factors that will be, you know, used, you know. It's going to be a divide and rule thing, though.
Comrade, do you see, peradventure, a northerner emerges as a major opponent against Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027? Do you see, what are the chances of Bola Ahmed Tinubu if a northern candidate eventually emerges, maybe on this coalition platform, or maybe from the PDP or any other party? Or maybe they are all coming together to form one, to stand behind one person. If that person is a northerner, do you see that person having a strong
If that
chance?
is a northerner of Atiku stature, you see, there is also this factor. What they're doing to Atiku in Adamawa is not, they're just starting to. Look, when the issue of identity of Atiku started many years back, I called somebody that I know very well, and the father high-ranking, in fact, high-ranking. I said, is Atiku Fulani? I asked the daughter of the man. He said, I know, but I will ask again from my father. She got back to me, and you know what she told me? Huh? She didn't say Atiku is not Fulani. She said, Atiku's father is not Fulani. You know, that's a political response.
Yeah.
That you can go ahead and make your deductions from that. Look, this is going to be a long night of long daggers and
Okay, now well, it's still from the Dailies on Solutions and 93.9 FM. It's 4 minutes past 10. By 10:15, we'll be joined by representative of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria or your state branch, because they have an event coming up or they would like to tell us about. But before then, I want us to leave Atiku out of it now. Let's talk about the man, Peter Obi. I mean, there have been speculations that probably if Atiku is put up by the coalition force and Peter Obi is made the vice presidential candidate, it will be a very formidable team. But Peter Obi has come out to say that he is contesting for the president, not VP.
That's what they always say.
And he insisted that he's still a member of the Labour Party.
Isn't that sounding like a confused?
Well, fraternizing with the coalition.
Isn't that?
And just a few days ago, Julius Abure, a factional leader of the party, Labour Party, gave him ultimatum.
Look, these things
to
are
leave the
not so
party.
difficult to put together. Obi wants to be president.
Yes.
He knows that flying on the wings of Labour in 2027 is not going to produce anything near 2023's outcome. He has been offered his biggest chance. Bigger than 2023, bigger than 2019. If he rides with Atiku, and Atiku is saying, or in fact they are saying it has to be a one-term deal. You understand? I don't believe that. I certainly do not believe it.
Oh, you don't see Atiku sticking to
Any one of them, I don't believe it.
Okay.
I don't believe it, especially the Atiku story. When he becomes president, or if he becomes president, and then he will get top-notch care, you understand? And then he works stronger fiscally and all of that. So, and you know, time flies. Before you know it, it's 2 years. And say, eh? And then they start saying, Baba must stay. But that is the biggest pathway of Obi to the presidency. 4 years of what do you call him? Atiku, by their calculations, and then he becomes president. And of course, he will be president, courtesy of the North. He will be sitting on his head. Because if Atiku or ADC wins with the Northern candidate now, they will say, we own Nigeria. You know, they're already suggesting the ones they call owners of Nigeria and all of that. So if they get this done, and we know that it is by the numbers from block votes from the North, then they can as well tell anybody that, no, we're going to determine. They can even tell Obi that, no, you are not our choice.
Okay.
And they go and, yes, they can go and scout for somebody else. And they can even say, no, a Northerner will conclude the 8 years of the North. You know, after all, they want to balance out what they lost when Yaradua died. That was one of the calculations that was put on his head for Atiku. And that is what led PDP to where it is today.
Okay, now with all these permutations and calculations towards 2027, are these not big enough to be a huge scare for the APC? Especially the chances of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because now I'm looking at this report on the front page of The Guardian newspaper. It says more Nigerians losing faith in Tinubu's government.
Look, this is nothing new. Ask Nigerians. They have no faith in Nigeria. The Nigerians don't think Nigeria.
That's why they like the Rotimi Amechi are saying the Nigerians are angry. But Wike is saying they are not angry.
No.
Are Nigerians happy with the present government?
Has Nigerians ever been... look, in this country, Yorubas say one thing.
But that's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. That's not for me. It is for those who say it. You understand? I will always have a better tomorrow, not a better yesterday.
Definitely, that should be the case.
That is the case for me. Those who are saying it, that's what they believe. When in the days of Buhari, they started talking about recession. Those who did not even know the meaning of recession were blaming recession for whatever happened to them. As we speak, you know what they say now in Nigeria? In this economy. And I asked them, why are you, which mental location are you coming from? So, Nigerians have never had faith. That is why you hear government property. It is public property. You know? So Nigerians don't have faith in this country.
But when the likes of Atiku Abubakar, Amechi, and Peter Obi were saying that Nigerians are angry, and Wike kept on disputing that. Looking at the report now, more Nigerians losing faith in Tinubu. They are not talking about past administration now, in Tinubu's government.
it is still the same structure. So look, it is about structures. It is the way Nigeria is structured.
Now, with this report now, is this coalition...
It has nothing to do with
calculation with this coalition, about this coalition and the permutations, are they not big enough to cause APC a sleepless night?
I think it is not even APC. I think it is Tinubu personally.
Tinubu personally, okay.
Yeah. You know, people don't have loyalties to parties now. It is about Tinubu personally. I do not know what he's going to do, but I know, if I don't know anything else, I know Tinubu is a very, very dangerous customer.
And what do you mean by that?
You cannot write him off.
You cannot write him off.
Look, in 2023, whoever thought he was going to railroad his way to the ticket, a private citizen, telling the Emilofon. And when what they were doing all the shenanigans, the man told them, you know, he said, I'm a Dibo, I'm a Wale. That was brazen, that was frontal.
I remember all those pronouncements.
That was brazen, that was frontal. But at the same time, there was a gubernatorial election in Oyo State that I witnessed. When the arsenal for the elections, you know, was assembled, and the then sitting governor went there to inspect. You know what he said? He said, even when we were first running for office, we did not have all this arsenal. Now that we have this, it's going to be a walkover. Of course, he lost the election because it is not that arsenal that he was thinking of that won him the election. So I do hope that they understand, and I do hope that they have a response. Believe you me, it is probably only a committed Kwakwanso that can take the tide.
But there are still some people saying that Kwakwanso will never go to the APC.
Kwakwanso wants to be president. Kwakwanso wants to be president. And if he's vice president of Tinubu, and the power will be shifting to the north, why would he not take that chance? It is a chance of a lifetime.
Okay. Still from the Dailies and Solutions and 93.9 FM, we got breaking news before the program started about the Olubadan of Ibadan land. But we know before we can give you the right or the correct story, we had to send our correspondent to the house, the palace, and Alalubosa Palace, right? Okay, the house, the personal residence of the Olubadan. So let's take a listen at one of our correspondents over there. Beautiful morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Loud and clear.
Hello, Adeshola. This is Adeshola, right?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, please. What's the situation over there now?
Yeah, the terrain is quiet and everyone is in the morning mood, because the Olubadan of Ibadan land has been confirmed. He has gone to go and join his ancestors.
Okay, and, it's been confirmed. The story is confirmed now. Okay.
Yes. And the head of media for the Olubadan has confirmed that in any minutes from now, the official statement from the Olubadan side will be out there. We should keep calm and everything will be okay.
Okay, so what's the general mood at the venue now? The mood?
Like I said earlier, everybody is in the morning mode. The whole Ibadan city is silent, and this place in particular, everywhere is silent. Everyone is just down because the Ibadan has just went to go and join his ancestors.
Okay, have you been able to speak with any of the family members or anybody that
No, none right now. Okay. I was able to talk to Toyarulogun, and he has just confirmed that yes, Olubadan has went to go and join his ancestors, and the official statement will be housed anytime from now.
Okay, I bet you will keep us posted, definitely, as events turn out over there. Hmm?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adeshola Animasha on there. All right, it's been confirmed the Olubadan has gone to join his ancestors.
Olakunleyin.
Olakunleyin. Okay.
Damola, Orito Madade ni. That's the way they say it. Orito Madade. Onishalai Dade. I mean, he is on record as an Olubadan. How many years?
And I was watching this birthday celebration just a few days ago.
Yeah.
He's a July born. Huh?
Yeah, and I find it quite interesting. I know one of his sons who was he was a medical doctor, used to be. It is just that the man was destined to ascend to that throne. And, before you get to that position, you will have made your mark. That's one good, interesting thing. So it's just, it's done his bit. Maybe about a year or thereabout.
Yeah, a year.
The year. So that's just it.
Okay. All right.
And we commiserate with the family.
We commiserate with the family.
Loss and any loss, not to talk of a loved one. But we thank God for it.
And we commiserate with the people of Ibadan, the ancient city.
Yes, this ancient city of the warlord, sprawling city, 11 local governments.
All right. Still from the Daily Zone Solutions, 93.9 FM. We did say earlier that we'll be joined by the representatives of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, or your state branch, and it's about time we put them on board now, but you'll get to listen to their voices in a jiffy. Stay tuned. It's still from the Daily Zone Solutions and 93.9 FM.